it's me, Ivy Barksdale, Realtor with Guy Realty, coming to you once again with Black History from a personal perspective. Now, today I want to talk to you a little bit more about the life work of my daddy, James R. Mapp, and I wanted to talk about the sometimes dangerous situations that he had to face as a result of him wanting to work for equality for his people. And one of the things after the desegregation lawsuit was filed, he received numerous death threats. My mom would get phone calls during the day saying that your child is not coming home from school. My dad had to make a decision on whether or not to carry a gun, and he decided that having a gun would just be an easy way to not address situations, so he chose not to carry a gun. In 1970, this was probably the first time that I really knew that these threats were real, and that came because in 1970 our house was bombed, and it occurred on July the 4th of that year. My parents had driven up to Minneapolis, Minnesota for the NAACP National Convention, and my oldest brother, Johnny, he had stayed home and had gone out on a date, and when he came back from his date, and when he pulled into the driveway, he recognized that his headlights didn't reflect off of the windows in the playhouse. And thought that was a little odd, but went on in the house. And when he went in the house, he saw dust and debris everywhere. And that was mainly because we had plaster walls, and the force of the blast cracked all the walls, and a lot of the plaster fell off the walls. But because it was an older house and very sturdily built, we didn't get as much damage as could have happened. Our neighbor from across the street, who was a white man who was also a veteran, came over and said that he heard what he thought was TNT, but with it being 4th of July, it's always hard to distinguish. And as it turned out, they had placed that bomb in a position on the back of the house underneath some firewood that was there, and it was directly under the room that my brother would have been sleeping in. So we felt really fortunate that he was not there. The blast was so strong that it sent those logs 2 blocks over, and it left a huge hole in the back of the foundation, but the house didn't crumble, and neither did my dad's spirit crumble. I can imagine it was probably difficult in that moment, but that did not stop him from doing what he felt he was called to do. So next time I'm going to wrap this all up and just kind of give you the overview of who my daddy was and what my daddy stood for. James R. Mapp. Until then.